Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Surbhi Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 8th of August. India pays tributes to iconic Tamil leader Karunanidhi. Four militants killed in an encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. An Afghan president meets political leaders to discuss election peace process. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and several other political leaders on Wednesday paid tributes to M. Karunanidhi, one of the dominant figures in the politics of southern India. Known as a crusader for social justice, the five-time Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu province died at the age of 94 on Tuesday. Political leaders led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday paid tributes to M. Karunanidhi, five-time Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu province and one of the dominant figures in the politics of southern India. Karunanidhi, who led his regional Dravida Munitra Kayagam or DMK party for about 50 years, died on Monday at the age of 94. He was in hospital since last week for age-related ailments, including urinary tract infections. Police were called in to control thousands of supporters who lined the streets of India's southern Chennai city to mourn his demise at Rajaji Hall, where his body was placed for people to pay their respects. Tamil superstar Rajinikanth and Kamal Haasan were among several important figures who laid wreaths and paid tribute.
Our இழப்பு தமிழகத்திற்கு வீர் இழப்பு. அவரை பிரிந்து வாடும் அவரது குடும்பத்தினருக்கும் மாண்புமிகு எதிர்க்கட்சி தலைவர் திராவிட முன்னேற்றக் கழகத்தினுடைய செயல் தலைவர் மரியாதைக்குரிய மாண்புமிகு ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களுக்கும் அவரை இழந்து வாடும் அவருடைய திராவிட முன்னேற்றக் கழகத்தினுடைய கட்சி தொண்டர்களுக்கும் எனது ஆழ்ந்த இரங்கலையும் வருத்தத்தையும் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
An outspoken atheist, Karunanidhi criticized organized religion and superstition. He was known for his sharp wit and command over the Tamil language. He always appeared in public with dark glasses and a yellow shawl draped on his shoulder. He built his political machine as a crusader for social justice with policies aimed at helping those at the bottom of society. Karunanidhi was to be laid to rest at Chennai's Marina Beach, where he was scheduled to get a burial later in the day. Security forces gunned down four militants in an encounter in Baramulla district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Wednesday. The gunfight was still underway till the last reports came in.
An encounter broke out between security forces and terrorists in Baramulla district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Wednesday. Following information of presence of militants, security forces launched a search operation in Rafiabad area of Baramulla district. The search operation turned into an encounter this morning with both sides exchanging fire. Officials said 5 militants were still believed to be trapped in the gunfight, which was still underway till the last reports came in. This came days after Indian security forces on Saturday killed 5 militants in Shopia district of the province. India accuses Pakistan of regularly arming and infiltrating militants across the border to spread unrest in the Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegation.
Moving on, government employees in the illegally occupied region of Pakistan-administered Kashmir have long alleged discrimination by Islamabad. An anti-Pakistan protest was recently held by staffers in the Secretariat of Pakistan-administered Kashmir for depriving them of the long due allowances.
Disgruntled government staff serving in the Secretariat of Pakistan-administered Kashmir held a protest recently demanding utility and allowances kept suspended for the last 1 year. They reprimanded government for keeping them deprived of the special allowances paid to all other ministers serving in the cabinet and president's secretariat.
ये हमारे जो वज़राए कराम के साथ जितना भी अमला है उनको स्पेशल अलाउंस और यूटिलिटी अलाउंस की अदायगी नहीं हो रही। दीगर सेक्रेटेरिएट के तमाम मुलाजमीन तकरीबन 1 साल से और बिलखसूस जो है वज़ीर आज़म सेक्रेटेरिएट और सदारती सेक्रेटेरिएट के लोग जो हैं वो भी ये अलाउंस ले रहे हैं, लेकिन महकमा मालियात ने न जाने किस वजह से सिर्फ़ और सिर्फ इन मुलाजमीन को महरूम रखा हुआ है।
Although the Secretariat Employees Association has raised the issue with the Chief Secretary and the Prime Minister, repeated pleas have not made any impact. The illegally occupied region has been misruled by Pakistan for more than 7 decades. There is a Prime Minister and a President in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, but they are merely stooges who have been helping Islamabad fill its treasuries through economic depredations.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani this week held a number of meetings with several influential political figures to discuss issues related to elections, peace process and ceasefire. During the meeting, the political leaders also gave their suggestions to tackle key issues in the country.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani had separate meetings this week with former President Hamid Karzai, former jihadi leaders and other influential figures to discuss elections, peace process and a ceasefire. Some political figures also made recommendations on national processes during the meetings, the presidential palace said. First Vice President Abdul Rashid Dostum, Jamaat-e-Islami Party Chief Atta Mohammad Noor, leader of Hizb-e-Islami Party Gulbuddin Ekmatyar and other political figures were among those who visited the president.
در 3 موضوع عمده رئیس صاحب میخوان که همراه اقشار مختلف افغانستان دیدار کنه و مشوره از وارا داشته باشن تا در تصامیم تمام مردم خود شریک بدانن و تصامیم به اساس اجماع کلی باشه.
استاد سیاف در باب صلح و مصالحه و آتش بس تاکید بر تعریف یک سلسله اصول و ضوابط معین و مشخص داره که زندگی مردم اخلال نشود.
This comes as political parties coalition, the Council for Protection and Stability and Hamid Karzai are discussing elections and peace and will announce the results of their talks on Thursday. Afghanistan is scheduled to witness the parliamentary and district council elections in October this year.
More on news from Afghanistan. The High Peace Council in Afghanistan has said that efforts are being made for permanent ceasefire between the Afghan government and Taliban. This comes days ahead of Eid-Al-Adha, which could possibly witness a temporary ceasefire from the Afghan government side.
Afghanistan's High Peace Council or HPC on Tuesday said that efforts are being made to attain a permanent ceasefire between the Afghan government and the Taliban. The comments came weeks before Eid-Al-Adha, during which a temporary ceasefire is likely to be observed, similar to the one in June this year. Reports suggest if Taliban agrees to ceasefire over Eid, it will be extended from 10 days to 2 months and the group will be given an office in Afghan capital Kabul.
مردم میخواهند که ادامه پیدا بکنه، دائمی باشه و اعتماد سازی شود در جریان آتش بس.
Earlier, the 3-day ceasefire was unilaterally extended to 10 days by the Afghan government and it raised hopes for peace in the country. Afghan civilians have been the main victims of the ongoing conflict. Officials claim that only Afghan government will have authority over the entire peace process. This comes after the talk sessions between United States and Taliban.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh, bus drivers in Bangladeshi capital Dhaka on Tuesday lamented over the government's decision to raise the maximum jail time for rash driving deaths to 5 years from 3. The law came after days of demonstrations by thousands of students over the deaths of 2 teenagers by a speeding bus in Dhaka on July 29th.
Bus drivers in Bangladeshi capital Dhaka lamented on Tuesday the harsher laws that will now apply for fatal traffic accidents. The government on Monday approved raising the maximum jail time for rash driving deaths to 5 years from 3 as students protested over the deaths of 2 teenagers killed by speeding bus in Dhaka. Bus drivers said the long jail term will affect their livelihood, while bus companies were not controlling how tickets were sold, leading to intense competition from the drivers and helpers to get passengers and in the process endangering people.
গভর্নমেন্ট যে আইন করছে 5 বছরের সাজা লাগবে আমরা দুর্ঘটনা ঘটাইলে তাহলে আমাদের ফ্যামিলি কিভাবে চলবে আমাদের ছেলে সন্তান আছে বাবা মা আছে আমরা জেলে থাকবো বাবা মা কিভাবে ফুল মেকআপ করে যে আমাদের দেখবো।
School and university students have continued to protest in Dhaka since July 29, demanding a crackdown on buses, many without fitness certificates that often engage in dangerous races in the streets. The protests were triggered after the driver of a privately operated bus lost control and ran over a group of college students in an alleged race for passengers with another bus.
A two-day cultural fest was held in Leh town of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province recently. The festival held for the first time aimed at promoting and preserving the ethnic Balti culture in the region. A two-day Balti literary and cultural festival was held recently for the first time in Leh region of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. Organised near the border area of a remote village, Turtuk, the festival aimed at promoting and preserving ethnic Balti culture and folk tradition. Events during the festival included traditional horse polo match, famous Turtuk sword dance, Balti folk song and popular skondal dance.
हम चाहते हैं ऐसे फेस्टिवल्स की वजह से ये जो तुर्तुक का इलाका है वो एक बल्ती का हब बने इसमें बल्ती कल्चर का एक सेंटर बने ताकि इस एरिया में भी टूरिस्ट का आना जाना ज़्यादा रहे और टूरिस्ट के आने जाने से सिर्फ इकोनॉमिकली हमको फ़ायदा नहीं होगा, इससे हमारा कल्चर हो उसको प्रिजर्वेशन प्रमोशन के लिए भी हमको फ़ायदा मिल सकता है
कि आने वाले दिनों में इसको बरकरार रखें, जारी रखें ताकि इस इलाके की बल्ती जो कल्चर है जो वेनिशिंग हो रहे थे अब तक तो इसको फिर से एक रिवाइव और ज़िंदा करने का उन्हें एक मौका मिले.
People from Leh and surrounding regions participated in the festival, which was organised by the Jammu and Kashmir Academy of Art, Culture and Languages. A large part of Leh and the surrounding regions remain unexplored, and officials hope that by taking such initiatives, tourism will boost up in the region. Scores of devotees in India's southern Tamil Nadu province took part in a procession to mark a Hindu festival. The month-long festival is celebrated during the auspicious Tamil month of Adi, spanning July and August.
Devotees in India's southern Rameshwaram city gathered in huge numbers recently to take part in a procession to mark a Hindu festival during the ongoing Tamil month of Adi. Priests and devotees, while chanting and playing musical instruments, carried the palanquin of Hindu goddess Parvata from the Ramanatha-swami temple. They prayed for the salvation of their ancestors and redeemed their sins of previous birth. Goddess Parvata is considered by many to be an incarnation of Goddess Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction.
பிரகிருதி என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய பிரபஞ்சம் என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய அகில உலகத்திலும் வாகனமாக கொண்டு அம்பாள் தலைமுறை ஐதீகம், அனைத்து உயிர்களும் இதனால் உண்மை பெறுவது ஐதீகம். இந்த தங்கப்பதற்கு தரிசனம் செய்து பருவத்தை அம்பாள் அருளை பெற பிரார்த்திக்கிறேன்.
Adi Perukku is the Thanksgiving festival of the Tamils. The festival is celebrated during the auspicious Tamil month of Adi, spanning July and August according to Hindu religious calendar.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.